My new Epoxy Shades song, Nonsensical, is out, and let's talk about some of the things we did with the production.
Can you believe this nonsense? When did everything get so dark? The mind virus dangers are dressed up as stars. Can you
All right, so I'm just going to jump into some of the things that I loved. This was a song that was like, I wrote it with the drummer who was also the engineer at his studio. Therefore, we kind of got to a point where we're like, we think we want other ears for this. So then the person that mixed it was somebody completely different. And we kind of gave him ability to go wild with it a little bit because there's so much on this song that's like, this is completely its own template. We can do whatever we want with it. Let's approach it that way. Let's not have any sort of limitation. Let's just see what we come up with. And Andy killed it. Shout out to Anderson Clendenin. Let's get into some of the things that he did. So one of the cool things that we did on the vocals, we actually recorded the original demo vocal on an SM7B, and the rest was done on a Warm Audio 47 tube model. The actual chorus vocals are a demo on a totally different mic. We tried to do it on the chorus on the other one, the actual condenser for the finals, like with the same mic that the verses and the rest of the song are used on. It just didn't sound good. So we used that mic, and then he basically distorted it and did some really cool stuff to the vocals just to kind of trash it up a little bit.
living amongst some lion beasts? Can you believe this nonsense? When did everything get so dark? The mind virus dangers are dressed up as stars. Can you spot the elephant?
Again, we kind of were like, I don't think we're going to get a better take than we just did. So we kept that. Obviously, there's some delay in there. There's some cool reverb going on in there. But the quality of the vocal, the way that he EQ'd it and the way that he distorted it and made it sound kind of like a telephone a little bit, there's probably a proper name for that. I just don't know what it is. Just really fit the context of the song.
It's the letter that freaks now. No longer letter the freedom. Oh, what a bunch of clowns.
I freaking love this transition. Basically what I did was I slammed this note on my guitar and just like really bent my finger a bit, but I used it's like a delay or a trem setting on my board to just make it go wild for a second, but it's very split second. And then I took a microphone and like whisper screamed into it. I went, ah. And if you listen closely, you can kind of hear it. So there's like two textures going on. Just kind of go back, play that again, and then I'll solo it. And here it is soloed. It's awesome.
Separate yourself, and man, I swear you won't miss part of the crew.
The vocal thing that we did here that I really liked, this is a super common technique, but sometimes I think people forget about it, is like when you're doing vocal overdubs, sometimes you don't need to always sing the exact same line to emphasize the lead. It's actually good to separate in octaves to create a warmth body for all the vocals. So doing like a low octave if you can, or doing a high octave if you can, doing falsetto, so that you really have that just whole range of body for the whole vocals. You'll hear it right here in this verse 2.
Won't miss part of the crew, one of the pricks.
So let's just give that a little soloing.
You won't miss part of the crew, you're one of the pricks.
You can even hear the bleed on the microphone. It's funny.
You won't miss part of the crew, one of the pricks.
Let's also talk about the intro for a second. One of the cool things that we did with this was verse 1, the song cuts right into verse 1, right? But before getting into like the guitar and the bass and the drums and everything playing at the same time, there's this like bass roll in and roll out. This is all over music across the course of time. But it's a really cool way to establish low end and take it back, and establish low end and take it back, and just kind of give the listener a chance and then take it back to be like, oh, something's missing. And it's only for a short section of the song, but it's just a cool way to introduce a dynamic, especially in rock music.
If you think about it, man, you see it's not so hard.
Just soloing the bass and drums here.
Put your head in the sand and spit that out
And then everything together.
there. Playmaker feels warm
And just locking into that groove.
on your guard. Part of the crew.
We got to talk about the guitar tone on the breakdown after chorus 2. So the guitar tone is probably one of my favorite guitar tones I've ever done before. I think it's the fact that it's not neat, and sometimes that makes a really unique solo, or a really neat, instrumental section. There's so many guitar players out there that I aspire to be, that do that kind of stuff, and like that's their style. And like I forget his name, but it's the guitar player from Wilco. And like if you listen to their records, his guitar playing style is like intentionally messy, and I know there's a name for it, but it's like completely perfect for the music, and it wouldn't be good if it was any other guitar player. Same thing with like the band Spoon, and like same thing with Radiohead. Like there's just some really unique playing to Johnny Greenwood's stuff, and so this is not that like this is at all close to that, but like it's that intentionality of messy sloppiness, but for the purpose of the part.
It's the land of the freaks now. No longer land of the freedom. Oh, what a bunch of clowns.
Let's hear that back soloed. Last but not least, the solo. Yeah, so for this one, we had the lead going through the Universal Dream, which is the simulation of the Fender 68 Reverb. It's awesome. The circuitry is practically identical. I guarantee it's the closest thing on the market at the moment. It's awesome. And then on the rhythm, we used the My Fender Blues Deluxe and mic'd that up. You hear the rhythm going. You hear the lead doing the solo, and then every ending of the phrase, the rhythm switches sides as far as the panning goes, and it goes, and the drums are accenting that as well. So if you're listening on headphones or any sort of like stereo setup, you'll hear the way and kind of it just, it's mixed around. It's really cool, honestly. This is the soloed solo. Yeah, and I love how messy it gets right there at the end. Anyways, those are a couple things I love about Nonsensical. It's out now. You can find it under Epoxy Shades. And yeah, hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching.